Welcome, I'm Vivek, and in this video, let's discuss how to take test series. So I'll be discussing about the strategies that I used when I took test series. So the first thing is to choose the best test series. And this, I believe, is the point where people waste most of their time. So what I will suggest is that you know the names of the top few institutes that provide test series. And you also know that they are doing this for years. So all of them have good idea about how to design a test series. Now one can be slightly better than the other, but it really doesn't matter for you whichever you take. It's important that you take one and complete all the tests in it. So I would suggest put half a day for it or 1 day in order to choose the best. And whatever decision you end up at, go for it, take the test series and complete all the tests. This is important. See, I've seen people who take 3 or 4 test series and then end up doing 20% of the first, 30% of the second, 20% of the third, and so on. What I will suggest is take one and complete all tests in it. Because when, let's say I'm designing a test series, what will I do? I'll have a plan that these sort of questions should be there. And I'll cover all the topics one by one. Now, if a student is coming and taking only a part of this test series, he won't really cover whatever the organizer had planned for. So it's better that you take one test series and complete it. Now, if you have time to go for another and complete that as well, well and good. In my case, I had taken RBR test series. There were, I think, 150 tests in it. From those, I had taken 105. So I didn't have time to complete even one test series completely. So it's better you take one, make sure that you complete, then move on to the next, right? So let's say you picked one. Now the question is how to take a test. The first thing, what I used to do is that I had first completed all the topics, all the chapters. So this will give me an overall idea about what all I'm up to. Now, after I complete everything, I'll go back to one particular topic. By the way, let me tell you, I always prefer topic test and subject test over full test. So by the end of this video, I'll make it clear why it is. But I always go for topic test. So what I do is after I complete all the questions, I'll go to one topic, I'll revise it very well. I'll make sure that I'm clear with all the concepts and then I'll solve few questions on it. Why? Because when we are giving a test, if we score low marks, because we are human beings, we do feel bad. We know that we are doing this in order to learn, but when we score low, we start feeling like, oh, am I not doing good? Am I not good enough? Or will I be able to catch up? So it's better that you do practice tests. You do some practice questions before test series and then give the test series. And one more thing, that is, while you're preparing, it's easier during the initial stages if just after looking at the question, you also get to look at the solution, because initially you won't be having a very good touch with these questions. So the first few times when you see the question, if you also get to see the solution right after the question, it is easier for you to prepare. And once you get into sync, you can give the test series where you continuously have questions and you do this one after the other. So this is what I will suggest. First, revise a topic well and then take few questions from somewhere, any practice sets you can take, practice well and then give the test series. Now, let's say you're all set. You've taken a topic, you practiced well, all set you up. Now just relax and go for it. Now, once you complete the test, this is the most important part. And let me just remind you that when you take the test, make sure that you are not interrupted. This is very important. It's not a silly thing, because if your test get interrupted in between, let's say you lost internet, what happens is the test timer will go on and your score will be very low because you lost internet connection. Now you start getting frustrated from inside, and this frustration, this is something that you don't want. While taking tests, you want your mind to be at the best, right? So never let this frustration coming from other reasons. Like if you don't know how to solve, you can't help. But don't let external reasons affect you. So the first thing, keep your laptop fully charged. Second, internet connectivity. What I used to do is that I used to have broadband connection, and then I used to keep for backup hotspots. So that even if the broadband one gets, by some reason it gets disconnected, still I'm good to go. So this is the first thing. Make sure that you won't be interrupted. Now, let's say you're very relaxed, you completed the whole test. Do you think the test is done? Do you think this was the major part? What I believe is that giving test that's the least important part. If you know the answer, you will do it. If you don't know how to solve, you can't help. But once you complete the test, this is where you actually start to learn. This is the most important part. And if you don't do this, the whole test is a waste of time. Once you complete the test, start going through the questions one by one and see which questions you did perfectly, which questions, see, there will be cases where you got the answer right, but still you were confused while writing the answer. So go through the solution, understand the right solution and why that is right. Now, take those questions which you missed out or you were not able to answer and go through the solutions, or you can go to maybe Gate Overflow, or you can just Google out, find the right answers and understand. See, it's very important that you move from one test to the next only if you are 100% confident that if you give this test again, you will score full marks. If you have that confidence, then only move on to the next test, right? So this is the most important part. Now I'll tell you why I prefer topic test. See, one full test, it is of 3 hours. If you sit continuously for 3 hours, that itself is a very difficult task, that is focusing on the same thing for 3 continuous hours. What I prefer is focusing for 45 minutes. So I take topic test. When I take topic test, what happens is I only have to concentrate for 45 minutes, and this is very easy. I can concentrate on one topic, one test for 45 minutes. And most importantly, if let's say this was a 3-hour test, what happens is at the end of the test, I will be totally worn out. So I won't be in a condition to sit again and go through all those questions, because going through the questions will take more time than taking the test. Now, if it is a 45 minutes test, just think, after the test, I can just take some water, get refreshed, and maybe I can come back and go through each question with the same enthusiasm, same energy that I had while starting the test. So while I go through the questions and study the right answers, that is when I need all the energy in me. And in 45-minute test, it's easier for me to give the test, come back and look into all the questions, right? So this is the reason why I prefer that. Now, one thing I want to tell you is that while taking the test, always at the beginning, be with this mindset that you want to be the topper. You want to be in the, let's say, at least top 10 of this test series. Now, the test series I had taken, they had used average marks in order to find the rank. So initially, if you get good scores, your average mark will be high and you will get good rank. So be very clear that your aim is to be a topper. You want to be in the top 10, try to score the best. But if it happens that you had, let's say, 10 or 20 bad tests, what will happen? After this, you know that because it is averaging, even if you score good in the coming test, your score will still be low. That is, your average score will still be low. So it's tough for you to get a good rank again in this particular test series. What will you do? Just change your mindset upside down. Just think that you are not here for ranks. You are here to learn. So start enjoying to make those mistakes and to learn from those. When you get a test in which you get, let's say, only 10% marks, be happy that you are lucky to take a test in which you don't know most of the answers. You got to learn from this test more than anyone else. So be with this mindset and start doing. This is the only option you have. And if you do this, see, I'll tell my story. When I gave test series, initially I gave an aptitude section. So I gave few tests of aptitude which were high scoring. So my rank was initially good. What happened is when I entered computer science topics, when I started giving topic tests, I failed in 3 out of the first 4. So at this point, I know that I've dropped my rank and also the average mark. And then when I gave decent amount of tests, I think maybe 35 tests or something, my average was around 70. So from this point, it's almost very difficult to catch up and get to a good rank in that particular test series. So I had almost gone on to that mindset that I'm here just to learn. I don't care for the ranks here. I want to learn. But thereafter, I found myself getting 90 and 95 percentages in many tests. And finally, I did end up in, I think, 5th rank or something in that particular test series. So this is what you have to do. While you start, be with a very positive mindset. Make sure that there are no interruptions. Try to score well, but in case it doesn't go well, change your mindset. Be with a mindset that you want to just learn, you want to give tests. And it's very important that you give good amount of tests. I would say somewhere around 100. Because what happens is, when you give multiple tests on different topics, you will have an idea on what sort of questions to expect. So you won't be taken by surprise in GATE when you see one particular question. Now, regarding full tests, do give enough full tests so that you get an idea of what GATE is and how to concentrate for 3 hours. See, in my case, I never felt like I will find it difficult to concentrate on the day of GATE exam. So I was never concerned about taking a 3-hour test and getting ready. I was always looking to make sure that I want to learn the topic and I should be good with the questions. So I think I had given 2 full-length tests. That was good enough for me. So that's it. And then what I have to say is, whenever you're giving a topic test, it's better if you revise related subjects first. For example, TOC and compiler. These sort of subjects, do revise them together and then take one particular topic, give the test, and then analyze the test, go through each question, and then see where you got wrong. And if you do this, I'm quite sure you will do well, because this is the strategy I had used. Every time I used to go back to every single question and see where I got it wrong. And when I get it right the next time, I do feel really good. So I think the video found is helpful for you. Hope you like this. Thank you.